Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Happiness depends upon ourselves. The more you know you don't know. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. First, have a definite, clear, practical ideal, a goal, an objective. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention. The secret to humor is surprise. Well begun is half done. Dignity does not consist in possessing honors, but in deserving them. Great men are always of a nature originally melancholy. He who has never learned to obey cannot be a good commander. Excellence, then, is a talent, not an act. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Education is an ornament in prosperity and a refuge in adversity. Those who know, do. Those that understand, teach. All men by nature desire to know. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living from the dead. Learning is not child's play. We cannot learn without pain. Youth is easily deceived because it is quick to hope. The one exclusive sign of thorough knowledge is the power of teaching. All human actions have one or more of these 7 causes: chance, nature, compulsions, habit, reason, passion, desire. Education is the best provision for old age.
Wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow ripening fruit. A friend to all is a friend to none. Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting 2 bodies. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in 2 bodies. Without friends, no one would choose to live, though he had all other goods. Friendship is a thing most necessary to life. The best friend is the man who, in wishing me well, wishes it for my sake. Misfortune shows those who are not really friends. Between friends, there is no need of justice. A true friend is one soul in 2 bodies. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. To be conscious that we are perceiving or thinking is to be conscious of our own existence.
I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies. No excellent soul is exempt from a mixture of madness. Men acquire a particular quality by constantly acting in a particular way. Poverty is the parent of revolution and crime. Happiness is a state of activity. A man is the origin of his actions. Courage is the first of human qualities because it guarantees the others. We make war that we may live in peace. The aim of art is to represent the inward significance of things. Bad men are full of repentance. It is best to rise from life as from a banquet, neither thirsty nor drunken.
Man is by nature a social animal. At his best, man is the noblest of all animals. Separated from law and justice, he is the worst. The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal. Law is mind without reason. Republics decline into democracies, and democracies degenerate into despotisms. Democracy is when the indigent and not the men of property are the rulers. He who is to be a good ruler must first have been ruled. The fate of empires depends on the education of youth. It is of the nature of desire not to be satisfied. Man is a goal-seeking animal. His life only has meaning if he is reaching out and striving for his goals. The energy of the mind is the essence of life. Hope is a waking dream. Nature does nothing uselessly. The high-minded man must care more for the truth than for what people think. Poetic license is a right, not a privilege. Poetry is finer and more philosophical than history. Memory is the scribe of the soul. Change in all things is sweet. Perspective is the soul of the painting. All human beings, by nature, desire to know. Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools, because they have to say something.
To perceive is to suffer. The beauty of the soul shines out when a man bears one heavy mischance after another. Through discipline comes freedom. One swallow does not make a summer, neither does one fine day. Fear is pain arising from the anticipation of evil. The end of labor is to gain leisure. Character may almost be called the most effective means of persuasion. It is likely that unlikely things should happen. The soul never thinks without a picture. Wicked men obey from fear, good men from love. Thrice is he armed that hath his quarrel just. Mothers are more fond of their children than fathers are. Piety requires us to honor truth above our friends. To lead an untrained people to war is to throw them away. Every art and every inquiry is thought to aim at some good. The least initial deviation from the truth is multiplied later 1,000-fold. A tragedy is a representation of an action that is whole and complete. Even when laws have been written down, they ought not always to remain unaltered. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation.